daughter of the Yin family is not someone you can touch. I advise you to tread carefully. Chen Xiao frowned. Wasn't this person the husband of Yin Yin Yin? Why was he meddling with Yin Bingqin? Although he recognized him, the name Chen Xiao had truly escaped his memory. Oh, what was your name again? Yidishin gasped. You don't even remember me? Chen Xiao shook his head in confusion. Such a character hardly warranted the expenditure of any brain cells. I am Yidishin, the son-in-law of Atlantic capital. Chen Xiao, who initially did not wish to laugh, could not suppress himself any longer. Ha ha ha, son-in-law. Yidishing's face turned a deep shade of anger. What are you laughing at? Chen Xiao replied. I apologize, but are you certain your name is Yidishing? Ah, how could there be any mistake? No, what I mean is, isn't your real name, you fan? Or something like that. Yidishing. You seem to have a serious problem. Listen here, Chun, as long as I am around, you shall not lay a finger on the Yin family. With your little company, how did you even manage to get into the auction? Did Tang Xiaofei bring you? Chen Xiao thought to himself that this fellow was quite the oddity. Not wishing to waste time on such detritus, his smile gradually faded. While I am in good spirits, you may take your leave. Yidishing paused. Realizing they were at Zijing Manor, Lei Yong, a hulking figure, loomed over him. Yidishing, mid-sentence, swallowed his words. Chen Xiao smirked disdainfully. This guy was no protagonist from a novel, and upon seeing Lei Yong's imposing presence, he was rendered speechless. The two disregarded He Dashing and continued their run along the riverbank. He Dashing clicked his tongue, failing to retort, and, after a moment's consideration, turned to run towards Yin Bingqin. Sister, that man is harassing Yin Yin Yin. He's a rogue. Get lost. You worthless fool. If you call me sister again, I'll knock your teeth out. Yin Bingqin scolded angrily. He Dashing, not even having reached her, abruptly turned and ran off, harboring no doubt regarding the truth of Yin Bingqin's words. The morning's little episode did not dampen Chen Xiao's spirits. After exercising for over an hour, he returned to his room, and after freshening up, Zhang Ting finally stirred awake. Chen Xiao picked up the phone and dialed Yin Bingqin. After her morning exercise, Yin Bingqin felt a sense of tranquility wash over her. Her spirits lifted further upon receiving a call from Chen Xiao. Hello? Chen Xiao, what is the matter? Have you come to a realization? Chen Xiao replied, What realization? The person you sent over last night had quite the night. Their clothes are in tatters. Please send over a new set. With that, he ended the call. Yin Bingqin felt a surge of anger. Her cheeks flushed as images of Chen Xiao and Zhang Ting flashed through her mind. After a moment of reflection, she sighed. There was no turning back. She had initiated this situation, and she could not allow her efforts to go to waste. Shortly thereafter, her head bodyguard, Zhang Yuan, arrived with 2 new outfits. As they exchanged the garments, her gaze met the stoic expression of Lei Yong for a lingering moment. But ultimately, she said nothing and turned away. Chen Xiao took the clothes and handed them to Zhang Ting. Make do with these for now. We will go shopping when we have the time. Okay, Zhang Ting replied, her voice laced with happiness. Since yesterday, everything felt surreal. Had she truly established a connection with a man who, despite being the scion of a wealthy family, still needed to regard others' opinions? Moreover, he was her junior. Zhang Ting could not fathom anyone more deserving of her affection than Chen Xiao. At that moment, she was so enraptured by happiness that she was oblivious to the fact that she had unwittingly embroiled herself in a fierce rivalry among the elite. By aligning herself with Chen Xiao, she had tentatively stepped into this exclusive circle. She mused that while both of them were merely students at school, their statuses diverged significantly in the realm of wealth and prestige. Chen Xiao moved effortlessly through this world, a steadfast anchor amidst the chaos, while she remained a mere accessory. Nonetheless, this disparity did not concern her much. She had witnessed too many of her peers lose everything without gaining anything in return. At least Chen Xiao was genuine. Considering her physical condition, Chen Xiao opted not to linger in public. After breakfast, he took Zhang Ting back to their room to rest. Chapter 112. Another visit? Zhang Ting's old injuries had not yet healed, and she had incurred new ones, rendering her unable to leave the room, let alone host the auction. Consequently, the Yin family had to find a substitute at the last minute. The following day, while Zhang Ting rested in her room, Chen Xiao, accompanied by Lei Yong and 2 others, attended the Jining charity auction. At the entrance, they encountered crowd. In the center stood the bruised Tang Xiaofei, animatedly recounting his misadventures. Suddenly, he expressed his grievances with palpable bitterness. I have no idea why this happened. I just got attacked out of nowhere. I don't even know which fool stirred up this trouble, but I'm the one suffering for it. Listening to Tang Xiaofei's lamentations, Chen Xiao felt speechless. Ahem, Brother Tang, are you all right? Tang Xiaofei covered his jaw and replied, I'm fine. Just stay away from that Yan Bingqin. Her attacks are more vicious than before. Zhang Ming, Xiong Chao, and the others stifled their laughter. Each of them had faced similar situations throughout their lives. Haha, did you get beaten up again? What a surprise. At that moment, a brash voice broke through, and everyone turned to see Bai Haonan approaching. Chen Xiao furrowed his brow but soon relaxed. The rascal must have been released so quickly due to his father's influence. How is the food inside? Zhang Ming taunted. Damn, Bai Haonan cursed under his breath. His eyes fixed intently on Chen Xiao. Kid, I have noted you down. Just wait. Chen Xiao, however, treated him as if he were merely a shadow, responding to the others instead. Is it about to start? Shall we go in? The others quickly agreed. Yes, let us head in. The barking outside is unbearable. Haha. Bai Haonan, left in the sidelines, felt the muscles in his face twitch with irritation. Damn it, a bunch of fools. Chen Xiao dismissed him entirely. Bai Haonan was not worthy of even a glance. Generally, barking dogs are less likely to bite. It is the silent ones that deserve caution. Just like Bai Haonan's father, Bai Lancheng, who sent his son inside without showing his face or uttering a word. Such self-made tyrants warrant careful consideration. Nevertheless, Chen Xiao had discerned the strategic intentions of the Lancheng group and held stocks worth billions, effectively grasping Bai Lancheng's lifeline. Regardless of his cleverness, he cannot stir up much trouble compared to the true powerhouses behind the scenes. Unbeknownst to Bai Haonan, he appeared as a ridiculous clown, blissfully unaware of his impending doom, reminiscent of a hearse drifting while the dead dance atop their graves. Inside the banquet hall, a host, slightly less impressive than Zhang Ting, took the stage. A smile of uncontainable joy adorned her face, perhaps grateful that Zhang Ting's unexpected absence granted her this moment in the spotlight. Her opening remarks, devoid of substance, nearly lulled Chen Xiao into a stupor. Eventually, he caught a single phrase. Now, let us enjoy a short video featuring the most beautiful elf from the plateau. Chen Xiao raised his head slightly, curious to see what this most beautiful elf looked like. Wondering if she had a grandfather who cultivated tea. On the large screen, a picturesque scene of the plateau unfolded, followed by a pair of clear, bright eyes. The camera then zoomed out swiftly, revealing a stunning girl dressed in traditional attire. At her appearance, Chen Xiao could distinctly hear the audience's breaths grow heavier. She was indeed breathtaking. Even amidst the enchanting beauty surrounding him, Chen Xiao found himself momentarily captivated by her allure. To describe her as the elf of the plateau was no exaggeration, and words could scarcely capture her beauty. Goodness, this auction house has truly spared no expense. Where did they find such a goddess? Zhang Ming remarked. Tang Xiaofei, clutching his swollen cheek, quipped, without spending, how can you expect to enjoy the moment? Chen Xiao chuckled. So you all know the inside scoop of the auction? Tang Xiaofei replied, of course. It's merely a way to give face to the Yin family while also broadening some connections. After all, it's the old fellows footing the bill, so we don't mind spending a little. 1 million, he exclaimed, raising his paddle decisively. Chen Xiao observed that while everything before him was merely a tactic to coax wealthy individuals into parting with their money, it must be said that the girl in the video was truly exceptional, possessing an ethereal grace that outshone any star on the screen. As the short film concluded, the host chuckled and remarked, Sir, the auction is yet to commence. What are you bidding for? Tang Xiaofei pointed at the screen and declared, I wish to purchase her phone number. Laughter erupted among the crowd. Chen Xiao was left speechless. Indeed, as a second-generation heir, despite his usual composure, he occasionally revealed an audacious side. However, everyone assumed he was merely jesting to lighten the atmosphere, and after a hearty laugh, they dismissed it. Zhang Ming chimed in teasingly. Damn, I'll tell Sister May about this as soon as I turn around. Tang Xiaofei retorted angrily. What will you tell? I'm buying this girl's number to gift it to my brother Chen Xiao. Chen Xiao, Zhang Ming scoffed, clearly incredulous. Tang Xiaofei continued. Buying a bunch of junk is one thing, but if I can actually acquire this girl's number, it would be far more worthwhile. Soon, Chen Xiao grasped the underlying meaning of his words, for the first item up for auction was a calligraphy piece by a certain master. Chen Xiao scrutinized the pristine rice paper, but could not decipher what the characters were supposed to represent. Which master is this? Thinking his knowledge was insufficient, he humbly inquired. Zhang Ming muttered under his breath, a grandiose feathered master? Who knows which neighborhood scrounged up an old man and packaged him as a so-called master? Chen Xiao, is this even acceptable? Don't mind it, Zhang Ming replied. No one genuinely intends to purchase anything here. 200,000, Zhang Ming shouted. Very well. This gentleman bids 200,000. Is there a higher offer? The auctioneer addressed the assembly. Ha ha! Bai Haonan burst into laughter, leaving the auctioneer utterly bewildered. Selling cars. And this is how you operate? Spending so cautiously, and you dare to call out such a hefty sum? Zhang Meng was enraged at that moment. Tang Xiaofei grasped him firmly and shook his head. Zhang Meng, panting with frustration, cursed as he took a seat. In terms of personality, Zhang Meng and Bai Haonan were quite similar. Yet Zhang Meng valued loyalty and had principles, while Bai Haonan was rebellious and dismissive of all. Despite their similarities, they were like oil and water, easily igniting conflict. Chen Xiao watched Bai Haonan with a smile. His father's Lan Cheng group was already under siege. Yet he remained arrogant here. Having been ignored by Chen Xiao earlier and now belittled, Bai Haonan was furious. Damn, do you see yourself? Look at that ridiculous face of yours. Your smile is utterly grotesque. The auction proceeded without any elders present, as the conflict among the second-generation heirs had already paused. Yan Bingqin, as the host, did not intervene. Rather, Yin Yanyan appeared anxious as she hurried over. Chen Xiao smiled and took out his phone, dialing Su Tang. Hello. Find the best legal team in the country. I wish to file a defamation lawsuit against someone. Also, since we hold more than 5 of Lan Cheng Group, we should announce it within 3 days, right? Let us handle that together. Bai Haonan was taken aback, his mind swirling with questions. Again, is this really necessary? If you have the guts, settle it privately. Bai Haonan feared that Chen Xiao would indeed follow through with the lawsuit. For his entry into this realm was thanks to Chen Xiao. And regarding the ownership of shares in Lan Cheng Group exceeding 5, Chen Xiao must be merely posturing. Right? Chapter 113. The Plateau Elf indeed, the boss. Su Tang's current status and insights have significantly improved, and the number of people assisting her has increased, leading to remarkable efficiency in her work. After concluding a phone call, she promptly organized her tasks in a systematic manner, within the confines of the Purple Gold Manor. Bai Haonan's countenance shifted between fury and uncertainty. Tang Xiaofei and his companions were taken aback. Firstly, it was astonishing that Chen Xiao could intimidate Bai Haonan. Secondly, did he truly possess over 5 of shares in the Blue Qing Group? Chen Xiao's decision to disclose this information stemmed from the impossibility of concealment. Out of the 5 billion, a substantial portion was acquired through financing. If Bai Lancheng remained oblivious to this, he would not be worthy of being considered the leading figure in Jining real estate. Chen Xiao had previously managed to secure the entry for that individual. But true titans of industry could not be easily shaken. Moreover, with the impending public announcement, there was no longer any necessity for secrecy. Bai Haonan was not particularly concerned about whether Chen Xiao truly held over 5 of Blue Cheng Group shares, as that was a matter pertaining to his father. What intrigued him was Chen Xiao's earlier mention of hiring a legal team against him. Ahem, Chen Xiao, if there are any issues, you can address them directly with me. Chen Xiao was momentarily taken aback. Indeed, his intentions were directed towards him. No, that is not what I meant, Bai Haonan clarified. I was suggesting that if there are any problems, let us resolve them privately rather than resorting to police or lawyers at the drop of a hat. Are you amenable to that? Chen Xiao couldn't help but chuckle. I find that exceedingly amusing. You are truly making me laugh. Bai Haonan was at a loss for words. After these 2 encounters, he truly recognized that although Chen Xiao was low-key, he was not to be trifled with. He did not adhere to the conventional rules of the underworld. Instead of reaching out to journalists, he sought legal counsel. In this era, such practices were hardly in vogue. Bai Haonan, accustomed to the so-called underworld norms, found this approach quite disconcerting. At that moment, Yin Yanyan approached. Each year, the auction would witness minor frictions. But this year's tensions were particularly pronounced. Gentlemen, might I request a favor for the Yin family? Yin Yanyan said with a smile. Bai Haonan's expression turned somewhat awkward. Sister Yin, my apologies. It was a moment of impulsiveness. Yin Yanyan smiled gently, her gaze fixed on Chen Xiao, for he was the pivotal figure in resolving this conflict. Chen Xiao, with an air of nonchalance, remarked that disrupting another's auction without offering some form of acknowledgement would be rather remiss. This was not solely a matter for the Yin family, but rather an event organized collectively by the illustrious families of Jining for the benefit of their successors. He called out to the auctioneer, for this piece of calligraphy, I bid 500,000. Yin Yanyan's smile blossomed into radiance as she nodded at Chen Xiao before returning to her seat. The resolution of this matter was not merely contingent on money, as the amount of 500,000 was inconsequential to anyone present. What she sought was Chen Xiao's stance. The auctioneer quickly responded, 500,000 once, 500,000 twice, 500,000 thrice sold. Congratulations to this gentleman. Scattered applause resonated throughout the hall, dissipating the earlier awkwardness. In light of the reputation of the Yin family, the previous incident was momentarily set aside by all parties involved. Chen Xiao had recorded everything that transpired. It is not that Chen Xiao intends to spare Bai Haonan. Rather, he harbors a clandestine plan to strike at the opportune moment for maximum impact. At present, he requires the stock price of the Lan Cheng Group to continue its ascent to secure his utmost benefit. The subsequent auction unfolded without a hitch, concluding in a systematic manner. Most of the second-generation attendees contributed to some extent, though a few remained obstinately stingy, yet no one chose to comment on it. The remaining time was purely for enjoyment. Some seized this opportunity to forge connections and negotiate collaborations. Chen Zhao's presence here was purely out of curiosity and a desire for broader horizons. After the auction, he did not claim any auctioned items. Tang Xiaofei and others also refrained from collecting theirs. The group exited the hall, engaged in jovial conversation about their evening plans. Yin Bingqin approached, her gaze steadfastly fixed on Chen Xiao. Noticing her intent to speak with him, Tang Xiaofei and the others promptly greeted her and hastily departed. Left alone with Yin Bingqin, Chen Xiao inquired, "Are you here to settle a score with me?" With a soft chuckle, Yin Bingqin covered her mouth, leaving those nearby astounded. "I am here to express my gratitude." "Gratitude for what?" Chen Xiao asked, perplexed. She leaned closer and whispered, "This charity auction was primarily overseen by Yin Yin Yin." Oh! Chen Xiao finally comprehended why she had merely observed the conflict unfold. "Regardless of whether it is Yin 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 or you, my approach remains consistent. I had no intention of offending anyone or disrupting the auction." Yin Bingqin rolled her eyes, seemingly oblivious to the atmosphere, and departed. As she passed, she brushed against Chen Zhao's shoulder intentionally. He shook his head and smiled, pondering who said the Yin family's eldest daughter was merely frigid. Unbeknownst to him, apart from himself, most others perceived Yin Bingqin as only cold and distant. Observing Chen Zhao's retreating figure, he Dushing expressed surprise. He had initially thought Chen Xiao was merely a manager at a fund company, not realizing he possessed such influence. Nevertheless, despite his astonishment, he felt unperturbed by Chen Xiao, given his own status as the Yin family's dragon son-in-law. With a dismissive smirk, he set off in the direction of Yin Yin Yin, elated. Outside on the lawn, Tang Xiaofei and others, while smoking, watched Chen Xiao emerge unscathed from his encounter with Yin Bingqin, leaving them in awe. "Xiao Go from now on. You are our big brother," Zhang Meng proclaimed. Chen Xiao replied with exasperation, "Please, you are all older than I am. You are the brothers. Dang Safo Gao De. It doesn't matter. Age is irrelevant. What matters is your prowess." The group gathered, engaging in light-hearted banter. Aside from marveling at Chen Zhao's earlier bravado, their conversation continuously circled back to the enchanting figure from the video. "Xiao Ge, summer vacation is approaching, right? Shall we venture to the plateau?" Chen Xiao, bemused, replied, "Tango, please don't tease me about summer vacation. I have yet to figure out my plans and must return home first." "All right, we'll reach out when the time comes. The brothers will take you on a journey along the 318 they proposed." It would be disingenuous for Chen Xiao to claim he was not intrigued by the idea. It has nothing to do with the Highland spirits, but rather for that long-cherished slogan that countless individuals aspire to. "In this lifetime, I must drive on Route 318. All right, Brother Tang, you all enjoy yourselves. I shall return to school first," Chen Xiao remarked. "What? Heading back so soon? There are still exciting events lined up for the next 2 days," Zhang Meng exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Chen Xiao smiled gently. "No, you all have fun. I need to prepare for my final exams." The group responded in unison. "Darn it. It's a constant reminder that he is still a student." Tang Xiaofei nodded. "Very well, then let us wish our Xiao brother good luck on his exams." "Yes. May you achieve splendid results, and let misdeeds abound," Zhang Meng added mischievously. Chen Xiao, Tang Xiaofei playfully kicked him. "What do you mean by misdeeds abound?" "It's about acing the exams." "Oh, right. Acing the exams, ha ha ha." After bidding farewell to a few friends, Chen Xiao returned to his room and called Zhang Ting to rise. Observing her languid posture and voluptuous figure, he nearly lost his composure. "Get up. The sun is already shining on your backside," Chen Xiao urged, patting her. I don't want to," Zhang Ting replied sleepily. "If you don't get out of bed soon, I might just come up there," Chen Xiao warned. "Ah, I'm up." Zhang Ting quickly scrambled out of bed. Dressing in a hurry, Chen Xiao chuckled. Will you stay here or accompany me back to school? Zhang Ting leaned closer, wrapping her arms around Chen Xiao's neck, playfully protesting. What would I do here without you? Of course, I'll return to school with you. Chapter 114. The study room. All right, let us go. Once Zhang Ting was ready, the five of them made their way to the parking lot. As they beheld the Lamborghini's sleek body, Zhang Ting felt a surge of excitement. In the past, she could only admire such supercars from a distance, content to play a supporting role. Today, she could finally sit inside and be the center of attention. Most people are not born with such cars, and the hope of owning one in their lifetime is quite slim. Hurry up and get in. What are you dawdling for? Chen Xiao urged. Oh, right. Zhang Ting snapped back to reality, her heart racing with anticipation as she settled into the passenger seat of the Lamborghini. Lei Yong and the others climbed into the back of the Range Rover. With a roar, the engine of the supercar came to life, and they surged forward. Zhang Ting's palms were sweaty as she gripped the handle tightly. The exhilarating sensation of acceleration was electrifying. The Lamborghini sped through the outskirts of Jining like a bolt of yellow lightning, racing along the ground with breathtaking speed. It wasn't until they entered the city's outer ring and merged into the traffic that the beast's freedom was curtailed. The low growls it emitted seemed to express its frustration at being confined. Zhang Ting clearly noticed the envious gazes directed her way. This vehicle, worth a staggering $8 million in cash, was enough to ensure its owner basked in the limelight. Sitting in the car, Zhang Ting's heart raced. This was the feeling she had always dreamed of. This lifestyle was what she had long envisioned. Today, it was finally realized. Her sacrifices were not in vain. Chen Xiao drove the Lamborghini directly back to the company. In the underground parking lot of Tongxiao Capital, Zhang Ting spotted several other luxury cars, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. Let us have lunch together and then head back to school in the afternoon, Chen Xiao suggested. Okay. After Zhang Ting finished speaking, she noticed the driver had opened the back door of the Volkswagen for Chen Xiao. Initially, she held no particular expectations for the car, but upon entering, she was taken aback by its luxurious interior, a level of opulence she had never encountered before. She couldn't help but marvel at the extravagant world of the wealthy, which was anything but ordinary. Due to the nature of her work, Zhang Ting had frequented five-star hotels before, so she felt at ease beside Chen Xiao. The handsome man and beautiful woman seemed to complement each other quite well. Usually, Chen Xiao ate quickly, finishing his meals in a mere 10 minutes. However, today he took 2 hours, eventually leading a blushing Zhang Ting out of the private room and back to school. The understated phaeton came to a halt beneath Zhang Ting's dormitory. She leaned over and kissed Chen Xiao on the cheek, saying, well, I'm off then. Chen Xiao nodded, asking if she would be going home for the summer. In a few days, someone would contact her to arrange the tickets. Thank you, Zhang Ting replied sweetly, not inquiring about the tickets he had booked. She kissed him once more before turning to leave. Brother Lu, please drop me off at the dorm, and then you can head back, she instructed. Sure thing, boss, he replied. After passing Block 5, Chen Xiao got out of the car in a secluded area. Whoa, Xiaozi, who brought you back? Chen Xiao was momentarily taken aback. It was Lu Xian speaking. The fellow was squatting on the curb, a nearly burnt-out cigarette pinched between his fingers. Chen Xiao glanced around, noting the absence of anyone else, not even passing girls, and became curious. I took a cab. What are you doing here? There's not a soul around, he asked. Lu Xian took a drag from his cigarette and sighed, just feeling down. My stocks have plummeted again. Chen Xiao replied, aren't you worried about that? Why not work to earn it back? Shut up. I was just boasting when I said that. What else can I do now that I've lost money? Lu Xian retorted. Let us go back to the dorm. Finals are approaching, and I can't be mulling over your pathetic stocks. Come on. With no money, why bother with exams? I want to be able to pay tuition anyway, Lu Xian lamented, feeling particularly dejected that day. Chen Xiao scolded him, you fool. You can always make money again. What if you find out that you failed too many courses and can't graduate? With a sigh, Lu Xian stood up, enough talk. What can I find a job? I'll go work. Let us discuss this later. If you stay out here much longer, you'll risk heat stroke. Hurry back to the dorm, Chen Xiao urged. After some coaxing, he finally managed to get the dim-witted Lu Xian back to the dorm. As soon as they entered, Xiao Ji's eyes lit up. Xiao Ge, can I have a cigarette? Chen Xiao rolled his eyes and handed him 3. Xiao Ji then asked, hey Lu Jiaoshou, didn't you leave home because of a breakup? Why are you back so soon? Chen Xiao was taken aback, realizing that Lu Xian's dramatic display outside was not merely about stocks, but rather heartbreak. Cough, cough. Isn't it embarrassing to talk about a breakup? Chen Xiao stepped forward and snatched the cigarette from Lu Xian. Stop smoking. Even your father wouldn't be fooled by you. No wonder you keep losing money. Come on, give me a cigarette. Liu Xan pleaded, turning his attention to Xiao Ji, hoping to snag a cigarette from him while he was engrossed in his game. Seizing the opportunity during an intense moment, he snatched Xiao Ji's cigarette and ran off. Whoa, stop right there, you beast. Two individuals rushed out of the dormitory in succession. Chen Xiao chuckled, heading to the bathroom for a quick shower before lying on his bed, preparing for an afternoon nap. At that moment, a message from Li Wenli arrived. Are you going to self-study this afternoon? Chen Xiao pondered for a moment and replied, Sure, send me your location. I'll head over after my nap. After responding, he turned off his phone, and shortly after, Xiao Ji returned, grumbling. Amidst the cacophony, Chen Xiao drifted into a peaceful slumber. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the weather remained sweltering. Xiao Ji was engaged in a heated discussion while Liu Xian immersed himself in macroeconomics. Observing the two foolish friends in the dormitory, Chen Xiao couldn't help but burst into laughter. Xiaoge, you're awake? Can I get a cigarette? Chen Xiao was speechless. Damn, that one earlier was snatched by Liu Xian. Xiao Ji added. Chen Xiao rose from his bed, tossing a crumpled half-pack of soft cigarettes to Xiao Ji, before retrieving a new pack of 1916 from his cabinet. Wow. Xiaoge, are you giving these to me? Yes, just enjoy yourself in the dormitory, and I'll bring you dinner tonight. Xiao Ji's eyes sparkled with delight. More affectionate than a loyal son. No need to say anything else. Xiaoge, take care. Chen Xiao carried nothing but his phone in his pocket, passing through the commercial street to buy 2 cups of juice before heading towards the self-study room. As the semester drew to a close, resources in the self-study room became scarce, marking the peak of desperate cramming sessions. Li Wenli was diligently studying, her exotic beauty radiating a rosy glow. Her naturally curly hair clung to her forehead, glistening with moisture, rendering her irresistibly captivating. At least 1/5 of the individuals in the self-study room found their thoughts straying from their studies, frequently glancing back to steal glances at Li Wenli. Have some juice, Chen Xiao murmured as he sat beside her, gently wiping the fine beads of sweat from her forehead. Upon seeing Chen Xiao's arrival, Li Wenli broke into a sweet smile. Hee, thank you. Just when I was feeling thirsty. Witnessing this scene, 1/5 of the despairing single souls in the self-study room vanished. Knowing that Chen Xiao disliked carrying a bag, Li Wenli had thoughtfully prepared some books for him, pulling them from her bag and placing them on the table. Here, review these first. With his elbow resting on the books, Chen Xiao gazed at Li Wenli with a grin. I can't, you'll have to teach me. Li Wenli responda. As this romantic tension unfolded, the number of onlookers in the self-study room dwindled further. The two drew closer together, inhaling the enchanting fragrance and feeling the warmth of each other's presence. Chen Xiao was in sheer bliss, almost oblivious to Li Wenli's quiet explanations. Stop it, Li Wenli exclaimed, her face flushed as she whispered, Can't you behave for a moment? There are so many people here. It's fine, you're blocking the view. No one can see us, he reassured her. Chapter 115, all set. You haven't been attending class properly this semester. Aren't you afraid of failing? Chen Xiao, preoccupied, replied. Don't worry, I've got everything sorted. Li Wenli was at a loss for words. Was this how the world of the elites operated? Then why are you even here to study? Is this really studying, or? As she trailed off, Li Wenli leaned over her desk, her cheeks turning crimson, and cleared her throat. While you're not studying, I still have to. Be serious. Chen Xiao feigned indifference, assuring her that he had arranged everything, so she need not worry about failing. Li Wenli stared blankly for a moment before responding with a light-hearted laugh. Let's go. I'm hungry. Chen Xiao raised an eyebrow. All right, let's find a place to satisfy your appetite. Li Wenli playfully pinched his waist, expressing her disdain for the cafeteria. After the goddess departed, despite the study room being filled with students, many felt an inexplicable emptiness within. She had declined a suggestion to dine at a 5-star hotel. In the backstreet hotel of Jining University, Li Wenli nestled in Chen Xiao's embrace, her lips slightly parted, exhaling softly, her breath fragrant and shallow. As summer approached, the heat intensified, and despite the air conditioning, both were drenched in sweat. I'm starving. I have no energy left. Should we go eat or not? Li Wenli pouted. Noticing the neon lights flickering outside, Chen Xiao smiled. All right, what do you wish to eat? Let's go for some snacks, she replied. The pair vacated their room, carrying their belongings as they exited the hotel. Observing her lugging a bag, Chen Xiao inquired, What do you have there? Hee. I bought you running shoes while shopping with friends yesterday. It's the latest model. Chen Xiao glanced at the shoes, estimating their cost to be around 1,000 yuan. I gave you money to buy yourself more clothes, not to keep buying for me, he remarked. Li Wenli tugged at her skirt. I did buy some. This piece is one of them. Chun Xiao appraised her attire, acknowledging its charm, which accentuated her graceful figure, though it seemed to lack a notable brand. Just as he was about to comment further, he spotted Lu Xing passing by. Lu Xing paused upon seeing Chun Xiao, then inexplicably burst into laughter. Today, the mountain cat followed Chun Xiao, and upon encountering Lu Xing, he casually approached, just in case. However, Lu Xing made no further moves, merely gazing at Chun Xiao with a smirk that hinted at mockery and concealed satisfaction. Chun Xiao furrowed his brow, recalling that during his previous life at Tancheng University, he had not been involved with anyone. Could it be that Lu Xing had taken advantage of the situation? What was he so smug about? Just as Chun Xiao contemplated probing Lu Xing, he turned and sauntered away. After a moment's reflection, Chun Xiao couldn't help but smile. Lu Xing was merely a clown. Any trouble he could cause hardly qualified as such. Let him be, Chun Xiao thought, dismissing Lu Xing from his mind. Here, let me carry the shoes, he offered. Understanding Chun Xiao's aversion to carrying things, Li Wenli acquiesced. No, they're not heavy. I can manage. They strolled along the snack street, sampling various delights until they had their fill. While health and hygiene were momentarily disregarded, the flavors were indeed exceptional. The street vendors near the university had to possess some skill to survive. Otherwise, they would have long been notorious and out of business on campus forums. Upon returning to the dormitory, Li Wenli handed the shoes to Chun Xiao. Wear them for running tomorrow. I heard they have great cushioning and protect the knees. Chun Xiao smiled. All right, will you be returning home for the summer? Li Wenli nodded, expressing her initial reluctance to return home, as the journey by sleeper train would take 5 or 6 days. However, given the substantial sum you provided, she yearned to fly back and visit her mother. Chun Xiao felt a twinge of emotion. It was clear that Li Wenli had not entered into this relationship for monetary gain. After receiving 200,000, most of which she had spent on men's clothing for him, the prospect of purchasing an airplane ticket seemed to weigh heavily on her. Don't buy it, he said. Oh, she assumed Chun Xiao was disapproving. With a smile, he reassured her, silly girl, why the surprise? My intention in advising against the purchase is not to prevent your return. I've already arranged your flight. Su Tang will be in touch with you. Is that so? Well then, she replied, a mix of excitement and anxiety about her first flight. All right, you should rest now. Okay, she added, reminding him, when you return, try the shoes to see if they fit. If they don't, bring them to me tomorrow, and I'll exchange them in the city. Sure. Upon returning to the dormitory, Xiao Ji lay languidly on the sofa, his stomach grumbling as he watched a movie. Upon seeing Chun Xiao enter, he sprang up. Xiao Ge, where's my food? Chun Xiao felt as though he had taken on the role of a caretaker in the dormitory. In the excitement of spending time with Li Wenli, he had indeed forgotten to bring food for Xiao Ji. Yet, he was not one to feel troubled or embarrassed over such trivial matters. I brought it. Just wait a few minutes. With that, he stepped out of the dormitory and approached the neighboring room, where he pulled out a 100 yuan note and said, Mingge. Xiao Ji asked if he could help him buy a rice bowl downstairs. Damn him, Lu Ming cursed, but upon seeing the money in Chun Xiao's hand, he fell silent. Chun Xiao chuckled. He mentioned that the remaining amount is for you as a service fee. Seriously? Indeed, Chun Xiao confirmed with a nod. Damn, he acts all high and mighty without money. I'll definitely go buy it for him. After cursing, Lu Ming took the bill and, as the game ended, promptly headed downstairs. In less than 10 minutes, a bowl of rice costing 8 yuan was tossed onto Xiao Ji's table. When Lu Ming returned to the dormitory, he counted out 92 yuan, laughing while berating Xiao Ji for being foolish. Xiao Ji ate his meal with an odd unease, sneezing intermittently as he finished, only to find Chun Xiao trying on shoes. Holding an empty, disposable plastic food container, he exclaimed, wow, the latest model, worth over 1,000. Is it really that expensive? Chun Xiao asked nonchalantly. Of course. Don't you know what you bought? It wasn't me. It was a gift from a girl, Chun Xiao casually remarked. Xiao Ji gazed down at his humble plastic container, and then at Chun Xiao's exquisite sports shoes, feeling a whirlwind of emotions. Chun Xiao found the shoes fit perfectly and casually set them down beside the table. What is the matter? Did you not eat enough and want more? Damn it. I was just about to throw out the trash, Xiao Ji replied, taking the rice bowl and leaving the dormitory. Chun Xiao chuckled to himself, just as he was about to take a shower when his phone rang. To his surprise, it was Zhong calling. He quickly pressed the answer button with a sense of urgency. Hello, Zhong. Is there something you need? Boss, there is something important. The evidence of Wang Jiankai's illegal activities has been nearly gathered. Chapter 116. Wang Jiankai is taken away. Chun Xiao raised an eyebrow. She had finally caught a lead on the mastermind behind the attack in the basement. How long could he be imprisoned? And Zhong pondered for a moment, considering the gravity of his offenses, predicting a minimum of 10 years, and with good behavior, perhaps he could be released in 7 or 8 years. Chen Xiao felt a surge of satisfaction in her heart. It is every citizen's solemn duty to rid society of its evils. Proceed with it. Yes, boss. In a villa belonging to Jin Ning, during a family banquet, Shi Zhongfu glanced at Wang Jiankai and Xing Yanqing flanking him, a knowing smile gracing his face. These two were undoubtedly his trusted allies. Over the past few years, the trio had collaborated, with Shi Zhongfu providing the capital, Xing Yanqing orchestrating the operations, and Wang Jiankai utilizing his control over websites for false advertising, resulting in substantial profits, having deceived countless retail investors. Despite suffering some losses recently, they paled in comparison to their previous gains. Shi Zhongfu remained optimistic about the future. Cheers to cotton futures. Cheers. The three clinked their glasses with smiles and drank heartily. Yanqing, are you still seeing that girlfriend of yours? Shi Zhongfu inquired. Xing Yanqing paused. Which one? Sunning? Yes, are you still together? Shi Zhongfu nodded. Good. Keep it going. Oh, all right, Xing Yanqing replied, somewhat perplexed. Shi Zhongfu continued. Jian Kai, the villa by Qian Lake, is it nearly ready for handover? Don't mention it. Even drinking plain water has been a hassle lately. I've had the worst luck. That cursed project is stalled, and I have no idea when it will resume. Shi Zhongfu casually asked, though, is it the project by Xiong Deming? Yes. Who would have thought Xiong Deming's funding chain would falter? Sigh. What is the project called? Bin Hu Yuan. Shi Zhongfu contemplated, then said, once this cotton futures affair concludes, we might consider discussing collaboration with him. Wang Jiankai's eyes brightened. Brother Fu, are you thinking of entering the real estate sector? Shi Zhongfu nodded slightly. Real estate is a significant opportunity. The future development is unimaginable. Noticing Xing Yanqing's eager gaze, Shi Zhongfu chuckled. Yanqing, no need to rush. Once we complete this deal, I shall gift you a villa in Binhuan. Xing Yanqing, filled with excitement, stood up, bowing slightly while raising his glass. Boss, I have nothing more to say. I am grateful for your recognition. Inwardly, he reveled at the thought that if he owned a villa in Binhuan, Sunning would no longer resist and would certainly come to his bed. Ha ha ha. Shi Zhongfu bellowed with laughter. Sit down, sit down. There's a trendy term these days. What is it? Teamwork. We are a team, sharing both fortune and adversity. Indeed, the two readily agreed. Subsequently, the trio began toasting and laughing, filling the room with joy. After several rounds of drinks and a variety of dishes, Shi Zhongfu observed his trusted companions becoming increasingly self-satisfied. Conducting legitimate business was challenging, but unscrupulous means yielded swift returns. At this rate, within 3 to 5 years, he could retire. If he could successfully launder his gains through real estate, he would be free to indulge in life's pleasures thereafter. As Shi Zhongfu was lost in pleasant thoughts, the sudden blare of police sirens jolted him back to reality. The smile on Wang Jiansai's face vanished in an instant, his heart sinking. He had frequently engaged in illicit activities, and the mere sound of that siren filled him with dread. Shi Zhongfu, exhibiting a bit more composure, noticed that Xing Yanqing's expression was also far from pleasant. Each of the three men bore a tarnished conscience. How could those with guilty hearts endure such a sound? Sometimes, the more one fears something, the more it materializes. Wang Jiankai was fervently hoping that the police were merely passing by, but unfortunately, they were heading directly towards the villa. When the door swung open, the glaring epaulets of the officers made the gravity of the situation unmistakable. Who is Wang Jiankai? The three men froze, realizing that they had come prepared, specifically seeking out Wang Jiankai in Shi Zhongfu's residence. Wang Jiansai's heart raced within his chest like a high-speed engine. Consumed by a singular thought, it was all over. However, with all the website servers located abroad, perhaps it was a different issue? Clinging to the last vestiges of hope, he thought to himself, I am. The lead officer commanded with authority. Then please accompany us to assist in our investigation. Slowly rising, Wang Jiansai's heart pounded in his chest. Shi Zhongfu furrowed his brow, pondering what Wang Jiankai had exposed. Having just gathered his left-hand man, did he now have to sacrifice his right? Rather than lose Wang Jiankai, he would prefer to part with Xing Yanqing. After all, while skilled operators are hard to find, they are not entirely irreplaceable. However, few can handle the dirty work behind the scenes as effectively. Moreover, Wang Jiankai was privy to so many of his secrets. Realizing he could not prevent the inevitable, Shi Zhongfu spoke with a veiled meaning. Jiankai, cooperating with law enforcement is the duty of every citizen. Go ahead. I will take good care of your family. Wang Jiankai was taken aback, his face reflecting shock, his pupils dilating sharply. Others might not grasp the meaning behind Shi Zhongfu's words, but he understood clearly. The old man was not offering comforting words, but rather issuing a veiled threat. Nodding his hefty head, he was uncertain whether it was anxiety or excitement that caused the flesh on his neck to quiver. Sigh. He uttered only this single word before being escorted away. The once relaxed and pleasant atmosphere turned grim in an instant after Wang Jiansai's departure. Without him, nothing could be accomplished. Bang! Who is it? Shi Zhongfu slammed his fist onto the table, growling like a beast. Boss, our cotton. Xing Yanqing cautiously reminded him. Without Wang Jiankai, matters would become exceedingly difficult. The visions of a villa and beautiful women had evaporated into thin air. Shi Zhongfu composed himself, yet his expression remained shrouded in the heavy clouds of lingering discontent. You eat slowly. I need to rest for a moment. Upon hearing this, Xing Yanqing could no longer eat, hastily rising to say, Oh, boss, I suddenly remembered there are some issues with the transaction, so I'll head back. Call me if you need anything. Shi Zhongfu nodded calmly. Then go quickly. Understood, boss. After Xing Yanqing departed, Shi Zhongfu pondered for a moment before retrieving his phone to call Wang Jiansai's youthful wife, who was 15 years his junior. Hello, you? This is Shi Zhongfu. He initiated the conversation. Oh, Fugo, what can I do for you? She inquired. Shi Zhongfu probed. You're responsible for managing Jiansai's websites, correct? Yes, she affirmed. Good. Please come to Binjiang International Room 3218. I have matters to discuss with you. After hanging up, Shi Zhongfu groomed his beard and applied some skincare products before summoning his driver to head directly to the Binjiang International Hotel. Within the precincts of the police station, Wang Jiankai faced irrefutable evidence, leaving his mind in a state of utter bewilderment. Some occurrences he had long forgotten were now being unearthed. This evidence was more vivid than his own recollections. There was no need for interrogation. Conviction was a foregone conclusion. Wang Jiankai felt desolate, realizing that he would likely spend at least a decade incarcerated. Suddenly, he found the absurdity of his past actions overwhelming. After years of living in fear, for whom had he endured this? Who had he ultimately benefited? For a fleeting moment, he contemplated dragging everyone down with him. Yet, recalling Shi Zhongfu's subtly threatening words, he restrained himself. Others were inconsequential, but his two young sons must remain unscathed. Shi Zhongfu was a man capable of anything. In room 3218 of Binjiang International, Shi Zhongfu smiled at the two young boys brought in by Yuer. From now on, you may call me Godfather, he declared. The boys, somewhat timid, clung to their mother's leg, half hidden behind her. Yuer gently ruffled one boy's hair. Fu Ge, you summoned me. What is it? Shi Zhongfu's smile faded as he instructed the children to play inside. A sense of unease washed over you. Crouching down, she said to the boys, You two, go play inside. Mommy needs to discuss some matters with your grandpa. Okay. The boys obediently replied, taking each other's hands and scampering into the suite's inner room. Once the children had left, Shi Zhongfu gestured to the adjacent sofa. Yuer, please take a seat. I shall explain everything. With trepidation, Tong Yu sat beside him. Shi Zhongfu furrowed his brow, contemplating for a moment before stating, Old Wang has fallen. Tong Yu's face paled instantly. Shi Zhongfu continued, Do not worry. Old Wang is astute and will not implicate you, especially since his two sons are his heart and soul. Tong Yu secretly exhaled in relief and asked, Is Old Wang unable to get out? Shi Zhongfu sighed heavily. Alas, at least 10 years. By the time he is released, he will be nearly 60. Tong Yu bowed her head, lost in thought. Shi Zhongfu added, Old Wang must have offended quite a few people, wouldn't you agree? Tong Yu shuddered slightly, nodding. Old Wang has a flamboyant personality and a fiery temper. Indeed, he has angered many. Ah, Old Wang, you have left yourself no escape route. Shi Zhongfu lamented. Suddenly, Tong Yu realized the implications woven throughout his words were far from simple. Fu, brother Fu, Shi Zhongfu chuckled as he rose and sat beside Tong Yu, taking her hand and saying, It matters not that the website has been shut down. The server remains intact. You must possess a means to reopen it, right? Rest assured, with Old Wang absent, we can continue our collaboration. With my presence, you and your two children shall encounter no troubles in Jinning. Tong Yu, who initially intended to withdraw her hand, hesitated. Having embarked on this path, she was destined to never experience tranquil days again. She had no choice. Observing her lack of resistance, Shi Zhongfu gradually pulled her up and led her into a nearby room. The clamor of children outside masked the sordidness within. Wang Jiankai, trapped in prison, could scarcely fathom that the speed of his abandonment and betrayal surpassed even the swiftness of the judgment rendered against him. Minutes later, Shi Zhongfu emerged from the room, a look of satisfaction upon his face. Lighting a cigarette, he expelled a mouthful of phlegm and savored a cup of tea. Shortly thereafter, Tong Yu, with her disheveled hair, stepped out from the room. You are, rest assured from this day forth, you shall possess more wealth and a higher status than Wang Jiankai ever did. Tong Yu wore an unnatural smile. Given the circumstances, what else could she do? As a woman raising 2 children, facing the numerous enemies left behind by Wang Jiankai, it was hardly surprising that her situation was dire. The following day, Chen Xiao received a piece of intelligence that left him both amused and perplexed. On the very day Wang Jiankai was imprisoned, Shi Zhongfu did not rush to seek connections or hire a lawyer. Instead, he was the first to betray him. Ha ha ha. Truly, what a good brother. After a moment's reflection, he sent a message to Zhong. Continue investigating Shi Zhongfu, and also find a way to inform Wang Jiankai about the happenings outside. But ensure that the method is legal. Perhaps hire him a lawyer. Zhong smiled faintly upon reading the message. Understood, boss. Wang Jiankai was indeed receiving what he deserved, and the incident in the underground parking lot had reached a conclusion. Yet, what role did Shi Zhongfu play in this affair? Chen Xiao suspected he was likely involved. As for Xing Yanqing, he was a minor character, not a concern for now. After all, he was still being betrayed. For such a mortal enemy, one must play thoroughly before sending him to his rightful place. On the next day, Chen Xiao rose early once more to run. After completing 10 laps, he dragged the onlooker, Xia Yudi, off the sidelines. I can't run anymore. No witties. I shall pull you along. No. The morning runners witnessed 2 flying ponytails reluctantly swaying on the track. After 2 laps, or 800 meters, Xia Yudi was utterly drained, bending over with her hands on her knees, panting heavily. I can't do it. I was never meant for sports. If you have the ability, let's game instead. Chen Xiao replied, life thrives on movement. Without exercise, how can there be life? Xia Yudi retorted, why do I feel that this statement of yours is somewhat amiss? Clearing his throat, he replied, nonsense. It is you who has become impure. Come, let us go eat. Oomph. Xia Yudi wrinkled her adorable nose. You lecher. There's definitely something off about you. Chen Xiao playfully pinched her nose, and amidst Xia Yudi's protests, the two engaged in a light-hearted scuffle as they made their way to the cafeteria. A handful of dog food, nourishing countless solitary souls. Upon reaching the cafeteria, Chen Xiao found a seat, while Xia Yudi eagerly went to purchase some of his favorite breakfast items and returned to neatly arrange them on the table. Chen Xiao took small bites, while Xia Yudi peeled eggs for him. This scene filled Lu Xing, who was peeling eggs for Tan Xing nearby, with envy. Damn it, when will I ever experience the treatment of being served by a goddess? Curse you, Chen Xiao. After venting his frustration, Lu Xing tentatively remarked, ahem, Chung Chung. I would also like an egg. Tan Chung paused, pointing to the egg beside her. You could just peel it yourself. There's still one left. Lu Xing was left speechless. Before long, Tan Xing also noticed Chen Xiao dining with the belle of the foreign language department. Seeing her expression turn awkward, an unnameable fury ignited within Lu Xing. Humph. Enjoy your meal now. Let us see how happy you are after the exams. Tan Xing abartet hergaze, Liu Ying. Perhaps we should just drop it? Lu Xing replied coldly. What? Drop it? Why? You're not still entangled with him, are you? Tan Chung retorted angrily. Who has entangled with him? I just feel it's a bit underhanded. A bit underhanded? Others may wish to scheme, but they lack the capability. Just wait. With that, she crushed the egg beside her and savagely devoured the yolk. After finishing his breakfast, Chen Xiao, upon standing, finally spotted Lu Xing and Tan Chung dining together. His gaze merely brushed over them without lingering, as if they were strangers, and then he left the cafeteria with Xia Yudi. Tan Chung slammed her porridge down onto the table. I'm full. Off to class. Hey, wait for me. Lu Xing, busy with his bun, only realized upon standing that Tan Chung had already vanished. Damn. Wait a minute. Today is Sunday. What class could there possibly be? Today. Chen Xiao planned to return to Bijiang No. 1 in the evening to unlock a package. However, as they exited the cafeteria, Xia Yudi, tugging at her clothing nervously, said shyly, Chen Xiao, the holidays are approaching, and I want to be able to see you for a long time. Can we sure? Chapter 118. 7-kilogram lobster. Please. See you tonight. I'm going back to play games now. Chen Xiao observed the breezy girl and felt a wave of exasperation. Perhaps in her mind, games were of utmost importance? The hidden information from Jinning Pharmaceuticals had expired. Starting tomorrow, Monday, Chen Xiao had 3 significant matters to attend to over the next 3 days. New hidden information, selling shares in the Bluechain Group, and exams. Sigh. I somehow still remain quite busy, he thought with self-deprecating humor. The school before exams had become somewhat tedious, with everyone scrambling to prepare. Even Xiao Ji, in between gaming sessions, would flip open the public course textbooks tucked beneath his keyboard. Chen Xiao, feeling bored in the dormitory for several hours, eventually did not wait until evening and called Xia Yudi in the afternoon, pulling her away from her engrossing gameplay. Xia Yudi pouted her adorable little lips. You big pervert. Why are you so eager? I was in the middle of a dungeon. What is enjoyable about the dungeon? Xia Yudi rolled her eyes. If the dungeon isn't fun, what could possibly be? Are you amusing? Chen Xiao nodded. Indeed, you are correct. Initially, Xia Yudi was somewhat enamored with the game, but soon her attention shifted to Chen Xiao. She nestled closer into his embrace, asking, Chen Xiao, will you return home for the holidays? Yes. I plan to visit my parents. It has been quite a while since I last saw them. Chen Xiao responded with a hint of nostalgia. Oh. Xia Yudi sensed his emotions and refrained from further inquiries. Little did she know, she thought he was merely parting from his family for a semester, when in truth, Chen Xiao was reflecting on 2 lifetimes. As the day of his return home approached, he felt an increasing sense of unease. In this life, his vulnerabilities were few, save for his family and that dear brother from his past life who had borne the brunt of his burdens. After a brief stroll along the campus path, Lao Lu arrived in a phaeton. Chen Xiao was not in the car, and Lao Lu drove hastily, stopping sharply at the roadside before leaping out to open the back door. Boss, sorry to keep you waiting. It's all right. I decided on a whim as well. Chen Xiao replied with a smile. Xia Yudi muttered softly beside him. You bad guy. You just wanted to see me, didn't you? Seated in the luxurious vehicle, Chen Xiao inquired, Yudi, I have arranged your train ticket home. Su Tang will contact you when the time comes. Oh, no need. I already purchased a sleeper ticket. I'll take the train back just fine. Cancel it, Chen Xiao casually stated. Xia Yudi pouted, playfully scolding him for his extravagant spending, yet her heart fluttered with sweetness. Since their relationship had evolved into something deeper, she discovered that this young man was not only captivating, but also incredibly thoughtful, anticipating every detail. However, he could be a bit domineering, refusing to allow anyone to decline his plans. They returned to the 5-star hotel where they had first shared a room. Xia Yudi softly pleaded, Chen Xiao, next time, could we choose a more ordinary hotel that's closer? That would not be advisable, he replied. The hotel staff recognized them immediately, recalling the couple who had previously occupied the presidential suite. This time, they opted for a smaller suite. The presidential suite had felt too vast, leaving them with an uncomfortable sense of emptiness. Previously, Chen Xiao had chosen the presidential suite for its solemnity and grandeur, but for their regular stays. The luxurious City View suite was far more comfortable. Though it was merely 3,000 yuan per night, it wasn't about the price. Despite having visited 5-star hotels with Chen Xiao on 2 occasions, Xia Yudi still found the experience overwhelmingly opulent, paying meticulous attention to every detail. Chen Xiao, somewhat bemused, thought that next semester, he should secure her an apartment. For a girl who devoted herself entirely to him, he would not be stingy. An apartment was a trivial matter for someone who possessed billions. Xia Yudi spent time in the room capturing beautiful angles and photographs. Chen Xiao patiently waited for her to finish before guiding her into the inner chamber. Her fair skin, as delicate as milk, complemented her exquisite collarbone and fragile, enchanting figure. In an instant, tenderness blossomed, as if the affectionate winds transformed into rain and the rain into mist, each element intertwined in an intimate embrace. The impending farewell stirs a bittersweet melody, transforming into an unyielding ode that resonates through the night. Xia Yudi harbors a genuine affection for him, evident from her willingness to take the first step to her current readiness to accommodate Chen Xiao in all matters. A bright afternoon in Jinning unfolds like a symphony of love, intertwining the tender entanglements and reluctance of lovers, with notes that resonate deeply in melodies that are captivatingly beautiful. What initially seemed to be a gentle serenade unexpectedly extends for a considerable duration, ultimately reaching its zenith. The couple indulges in their intimacy for a while longer before succumbing to slumber. Upon awakening once more, the sun has begun its descent. Yudi, it's